All right, let's start with the first one, Avengers, that came out in 2012. Buck?
Okay, first tangent before we continue. When are we doing Heart of the Hunter, guys? Come on.
You've been crying for that one,
He's
bro.
been crying.
It's painful for all of us.
So, but I will join your campaign on this one, Buck. Just tag me. I will be there.
Come on, guys. He's practically a superhero in that thing. But anyway, Avengers 8 out of 10 with IMDb. Okay, so I saw this in theater. I took my brother to go watch it in theater because he's a gaming nerd. He's not like a comic book superhero nerd. He enjoyed the movie, so I think that's a testament to how good that movie is. We also did a review on it. We did a long commentary thing on this channel. You can find it somewhere there, where we were discussing about which city would be better to live where. I'm staying the hell out of New York because every time the sky opens, aliens always visit where?
New York, New York.
Yes, sis. It's like, let's invade Earth. Where do we go? New York. Whole planet. But
You can keep it.
Your insurance in New York will probably be higher than your rent. Your hero's insurance will probably be higher than the rent.
You see, I hear that the insurance companies really backed away from fires in LA. I'm sure in New York the insurance companies will be like, aliens, nah, we ain't covering that. Super villains, we're not covering that.
Spirits from other dimensions, yeah, not covering that. Yo. Anyway, yeah, getting back to this film, I really dug this film. As a person who did read some of the comic books and stuff, I had to go back because I thought that Cap was one of the founding members. He's not, which is interesting. But they needed in there anyway. There was just no way that they were gonna do Avengers anyway because he's as close to a founding member as you can be.
Yeah.
Because basically the team didn't have direction until Cap got on the scene and started giving orders and stuff.
You could say Tony is the founding member, I guess, or rather the guy that really came up with that plan. But yeah, they needed Cap. Without Cap, it wouldn't have worked. I think I could be wrong.
The thing is, Tony also Tony wasn't good at giving orders. Tony's whole MO is, I take a rocket and I blast the other guy with it, and does it work or doesn't it work? Let me build a bigger rocket. But anywho,
he's a solo dolo.
Yeah, getting back to this film, it handles all the characters really well. It does something that the MCU has failed to do for a while. Although Joss Whedon, I feel like he has some beef with Thor because Thor was stronger in his movie than he was in Avengers. So I was a bit confused that Thor was struggling as much as he was in this film.
No, but he didn't direct. Okay, no, I hear what you're saying. He didn't direct Thor, but I do hear what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. It's like he didn't look at Thor's power scaling in Thor's movie. It's like Thor was waxing frost giants in his movie, and we get to hear, and this is just the Chitauri. I'm like, they're not giants with ice and stuff.
Yeah.
So why, Thor is struggling there? Like that's a criticism I developed later because I just thought about it, but I was just like, maybe, comic books have been inconsistent with power scaling, so we'll let it go there. But in terms of the characters, I think this one does the team up stuff, some of the best team up stuff, and they also focus on the interpersonal stuff really, really well. Because I think like Tony and Cap's relationship, the way it develops here, it kind of like carries throughout the rest of the MCU. Which is but the foundation here is what made it strongest. I think that's why a lot of people, like some people were saying that Civil War was not so surprising because of the seeds that were laid here. So 8 out of 10, I would give it a 9. Loki was I would give it a 9. Loki was, I mean, scary is not the word, but he was a force of nature. I think the jokes are better here than they are in than they are in a lot of MCU movies. And I think this movie does when it's time to be serious, it actually balances like the seriousness. Like for example, when Ruffalo Banner, yeah, Ruffalo Banner, because recasted
Right.
recast T'Challa. Sorry.
Right, good. It's happening, buddy.
Yeah, we'll see.
Ibambe.
Um, yeah, but anyway, when Ruffalo scares Black Widow, let me say Banner. Let me use the actual character's name. When Banner scares Widow and she picks up the gun, you're legit scared, like he's about to Hulk out and things are about to go left. But I think every actor brought it here, and yeah. Shout out to Coulson, who's an MCU edition. He doesn't exist in the comic books, as far as I know. Yeah, fun character, and yeah, I was kind of like, oh, when he died, I was like, oh, but it's not like, oh, he needs to come back. It was like, ah, okay, that's too bad. But anyway, yeah, 9 out of 10. I wouldn't give this an 8.
Mm.
Okay, cool. Zugo?
Um, Brilliant movie, brilliant uh team building. They showed the different characters or the different aspects of all the characters. They didn't all become friends just off the first go. You could see it was built up. Obviously, if it was I think it was if it was a two-part movie, they could have probably expanded on those a bit more. But still, in the movie, they did it well. I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that they weren't, in a lot of these things, these guys come together and they're already a team and they already know how to work together and stuff. Like these guys didn't know how to work together, but they had all the skill sets that they needed. And with Cap being a soldier, being a captain, being a leader, he naturally gravitated because everyone everyone of Tony is a solo guy. Thor is a head first and re tla bona ko pele. Banner is a smash smash. Hawkeye is a behind this Hawkeye and thingy. What's her face now? And Widow. They're more behind the scenes. They cut your ankles. They don't, and then they kill you. So everyone was like, it's all different skill sets, and Cap was literally the only leader that they actually have, because everyone else, all their leadership is very flawed. So you and then you see that and how everyone's coming up with their own ideas, and then they start working together. Like when what's his face when Hawkeye comes to the ship and Tony's doing his own thing, and then but then they start working together in that scenario with him and Cap and stuff and things, little things like that. So the the villain was menacing, he was believable, he was scary. um the conflicts were believable, and they were well executed. They didn't feel corny. They didn't feel like, oh, that had to happen. It felt natural. It didn't feel like they just put that in because they had to, otherwise some part of the movie wouldn't make sense. Um, so the plot points were well executed, and they were well placed. Um, what else? What else? Yeah, man, I just think this was, and I love the fact that it built up. It didn't just come in, wow, 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 and then by the time the final fight comes in, now they have to deal this massive, insane fight because all the other fights were so huge and spectacular.
Okay.
So brilliant movie, well executed. You see, this is what we call filmmaking. This is not what we call, let's put stars in there and let's see what we'll get.
Mm.
So brilliant movie. I'm trying to think what I can really critique. I think the only real critique I have is because the movie was so short, they couldn't put in a few extra scenes to like just develop the team a bit more. That's literally the only critique I can have for it. So maybe like if it was like if it was a part one, part two type of vibe, but then that would have just made it unnecessarily long.
What's the
So
rating?
so yeah, I'll give it a 9 as well. I think it was just excellently done.
Okay, cool. Rob?
All right. I actually think, I would say again, I think this is peak Avengers, peak Marvel. I think it was the first time we ever saw a movie come together the way it ever had like that. I love the fact that they never had to explain who the characters are. They could just jump right in, which is just fantastic. Um, and at the same time, it was still not so convoluted as to confuse newcomers. I think still fantastic. I like the fact that every personality is unique, and because they all had their own movies, they could build that uniqueness, that 3D roundness to it that then comes together, and you get to see personalities bounce off each other. Um, I enjoyed, as they said about Tony and Iron and Tony and Captain America coming to bouncing off each other. Um, that was brilliant. I thought it was built nicely, and then ends up having ramifications throughout the entire series. It's actually great. The fact that the director, Joss Whedon, could snatch all those little moments and then put it together to make a good movie is fantastic. I would say the only one who comes close would be the brothers.
The Russos.
There we go. They did a good job as well, snatching individual character traits and putting it together in the later, first of all, Civil War, and then Infinity War. Came together quite nicely, and I think this was where it happened first. I also agree with the humor thing of it was before Marvel got silly. One could argue after this it got silly, but this was the last time I would say the humor was up and down perfectly. And I think it was a skill that Josh Whedon produced. And I think other people tried to copy it, and a copy is never as good as the original. And I think that was something they suffered from later on. But for now, it's still peak. And yeah, solid 9 out of 10 for me, man.
All right. I agree with what you said, for the most part. I mean, he copied himself with Age of Ultron, and that didn't land well. But this one, for me, it was like lightning in a bottle. For me personally, I think I would say, as it stands, it's the best MCU movie, the Avengers. I think the actors also didn't have an ego. It's something that Zuko also touched. Like, it's not a project where we're getting superstars and we're trying to make them like they'll just figure it out. Some of them had already done their solo films and they had done decently well at the box office. Some of them had mixed reviews. So they were still proving themselves. Marvel was still proving themselves. Everybody was still proving themselves. Nick Fury has his time to shine here because before then he was just having cameos in everybody's films. But then in this one, he has a really, really great arc. In the beginning, he loses some of his men. Loki really, really puts a one on him, and then he ultimately gets all these guys together, tries to show them the ropes. It's a bit difficult because everybody has different personalities. People are not getting, they're not aligned, which is something Buckmaster, I think he said offline. But when Cap comes in, things get a bit smoother. It has a lot of quotable scenes. It has a lot of great scenes. I mean, come on, guys. Who didn't really geek out when they saw the team ready for action as the camera is, rotating around or rather revolving around them? And I mean, that scene is completely useless because they don't do anything. I mean, there's a part where they show Hawkeye is about to like, throw an arrow, but he doesn't do that. It's just like it's as if they knew that they should be posing at this point. But it is one of the most iconic scenes in film history, in my opinion. And Hulk there was OP. One punch from Hulk really just killed one of the huge aliens. I mean, you could say it's peak Hulk. because after
Yeah,
that, we don't really get that
That's
strong Hulk
that.
anymore.
I feel like comic fans will fight you there. Peak Hulk, disgusting.
Anyway,
Simply right,
Hulk.
because dog, what's happened to the Hulk in the MCU? Thanos hit him in the throat once, and that guy is scared.
and some people are saying that the fact that Red Hulk is going to be fighting Sam Wilson in itself is just ridiculous. Why
Well,
would
he managed to get a suit from Wakanda somehow, which people are yet to explain to me how that happened.
but it doesn't have super soldier serum. He's fighting a
Yeah, but
Hulk.
that thing can take kinetic energy and bounce it back. So
All right, we'll see how
But
that
his
goes.
It can take all kinetic energy at all times to all levels.
why did Wakanda give it to him? I don't understand.
Yeah,
Like
when it
this
becomes
was not even
friends.
had one.
No, but Sam is an Avenger, guys, and he helped
Yeah,
defeat.
but I'm saying,
so where was he for the funeral?
Yeah, no, you need to
Where
ask
was any Avenger for the funeral?
you need to ask the Wakandans about that one.
also, I'm saying now, do the Wakandans owe Doctor Strange vibranium because he helped or whatever? Do they owe like come on, guys? They shouldn't have even brought that to Wakanda, because now Wakanda became the final scene for everything to get wrecked and destroyed. If I was the Wakandan, Sam ain't getting nothing. None of you Avengers are getting anything. He came with a purple man to my house and caved it in.
Hey, that's why I'm anti I'm anti what's his name? Killmonger. I think Killmonger was wrong. I think they should have kept the technology.
Okay, but anyway, my
Yeah.
rating, I give this movie a 9.5. I think Devil and I have spoken countless times that this is our favorite Avengers film. For me personally, this is my favorite Avengers film and one of my favorite MCU films ever. Like after this movie, I would say the one that comes close to this is, for me personally, is Civil War. So yeah, that's me. Duchesne, I think it's your turn.
Side note: can people stop saying that Bucky, that Wakanda owes Bucky a favor? They actually don't at all. They
Like
never.
they helped him.
Yeah, why would they owe him a favor?
That's apparently that's how Sam got his Wakanda suit, is because Bucky called in a favor.
I feel like you're not
Yeah.
allowed to frame me for murder. I mean, you're not allowed to accuse me of murder and try to kill me. I feel like there's a rule to that.
No, but also on top of that, one, didn't know who you were. You were also known as the Winter Soldier. Two, when I found out, I did you the solid and I got you rehabilitated. Why do I owe you vibranium on top of that? Oh,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I think that whole lost the arm because of the hunt, in my opinion.
But I think we need to keep the pace going, guys. I don't know if Duchesne can hear us.
Shane, can you
Shane?
hear?